Just so I have it on camera, name and your involvement in the project.
I'm Avril and I'm a co-owner of the field that we have for Larkrise. And
one of the future residents, hopefully.
One of the future residents, definitely. Yes, I aim to hopefully spend the rest of my life, as far as I know, in the co-housing. Yeah.
So, where did this idea come from? Where was it born?
Co-housing originated in Denmark, where about 30 years ago, and it's been taking off considerably in the last 10, especially in the last 5 years in the UK. There are many co-housing groups, communities in the States, and we're hoping to create one in Herefordshire. We're planning on creating one in Herefordshire.
And what's the scale of this development?
This development will have 20 dwellings. We're in partnership with Herefordshire Housing, and half of them are going to be owner-occupied and the other half will be tenanted by Herefordshire Housing tenants. Yeah.
And is it apparent from the outside which are which?
We're going to aim to make them all indistinguishable as far as owner-occupied tenanted. Yes, we want to have, they will be slightly different, each of them, but not from the point of view of the two factions, the two groups.
And how much of a need is there for a community like this, in terms of housing needs and the local community?
I don't think I'm qualified to answer you on that one. You have to ask somebody else. Yeah.
What do you think the long-term impact's going to be on the local area?
I think it will be a very beneficial long-term impact. I think it will take time, but I'm very confident that our co-housing values will really enhance all our lives, our communities and the wider community around us. That's very much our aim.
And what's your personal hopes for it? What do you think, outside of just a housing need, this is going to bring?
It's definitely the social need. All my life, particularly nuclear families, have been how living has been arranged, and there's a lot of isolation and also resources. It's very good from sharing resources.
Sorry. I'm falling there. I think that's my mobile. Hi, Elizabeth. I'm good. Are you okay? Yeah. Okay. Let me have a think about it. Okay. No. Well, that'll be retrievable. I'm just shooting at the moment. I'll have a talk to Martin. No, you didn't know. And I'll give you a call back when we've spoke. No, all of that data should be transferable, so don't worry. Okay, don't worry. Yeah. Okay, darling, bye-bye. I thought that might have been Kat.
Should be here soon.
No, I haven't got any messages.
No, she's not good on messages. But if she says she's coming, she's coming.
Cool.
Yeah.
Turn them to silent.
I can't remember what you were asking me now.
I can't remember.
I'm getting a bit tied up.
Are you still rolling through all that? So am I. I guess it was a personal need for what you hope
Yes, what I hope for companionship for people, for mutual support, for a sharing of resources, living in a cross-generational community in a little bit a more conscious way than a haphazard way, perhaps, that we might find elsewhere. Although, you know, there is great community spirit in this country, but this is more of a conscious working together. It's a neighbourhood designed by the residents for the way that they want it to work. Yeah.
And the really important thing to understand is that actually some of the core group come from the area. This isn't people moving into the area. This is a need that's born out of
Yes.
a community need.
Yes. Well, the core group are all from this area. They live and or work in this area. And they're people who are very committed to living in community, which, just to clearly define, is where we have our own houses, our own front doors, which we can close behind us, but also we have the resource of a common house where we can have shared meals, we can have activities, meetings, and also invite others in, to share those activities. Yeah.
And how important is it that there are building developments in rural areas that attract families and feed into the schools and feed into the areas that you're cutting down on transport? And
it's very important. Cutting down on transport is very important for us, that we aim to car share as much as possible. We have very good bus services at the top and bottom of the road, and those of us involved right now already car share with each other. We have parking at the bottom of the field so that the field site itself, the community site, will be safe for the children to play. And
And you've got two great schools on your doorstep.
We've got two great schools. We've got primary school up the road and Steiner School further along the road that caters for all ages. Yes. Yes.
And what was the brief given to the architect? How were the plans drawn up?
The plans were drawn up with a view of taking advantage of the field, which is south-southwest facing, which gets sun all day, which is a great bonus. And the houses are arranged in terraces, in clusters, with a small space between the two top terraces, so that there's an interchange and connection between people, and children or the elderly can be kept an eye on. And then in between there's a good amount of recreation space and a good amount of land at the top of the field for growing, either community growing, or if people would like allotments, that's fine, and we hope to open that up to the wider community.
And how much of an impact do you think this development will have on the established housing that's already in the area? And how have you addressed some of the fears that there might be in losing?
Well, one of the primary ways we addressed these fears was by being very careful and conscious of the sight lines of the existing houses, because they've had an unimpeded view out to Haybluff ever since they've been there. And now these houses that we're hoping to build will be allowing for a good amount of space in between, so they'll have a sense of openness still, and there's a good amount of land. We wanted the balance between housing and land to be workable and enjoyable by those who are adjacent to us and also by ourselves. Yeah.
I can't think of another question. What have I asked before? What question do you think we should have?
I don't know, about the price.
About
Prices.
prices, that's quite a good one.
Yeah.
It's affordable and sustainable design, isn't it? I like the way you're thinking.
He's done well, isn't
You
It's very good. I can't give you exact costs.
But this is
We aim to a high standard of insulation, as high as we can possibly achieve, very much with a view to low energy bills. and low energy consumption. Yeah.
And are there any other sort of green credentials that this development will have? What are the key?
Well, I would say the build, our transport policy of ourselves, recycling and composting, we're very keen to establish and encourage others in the wider community to join in if they wish.
Can we start that again? Only because I don't have a cut in there, but I don't know if it's an ethos or a design principle or how to start it. But
Right.
so one of our key objectives are
Okay.
to that's
Okay.
the way to say it.
So one of our key objectives is to be as sustainable as possible, to use environmentally friendly materials in our build, to insulate to as high a standard as possible, and to also recycle, compost, encourage locals to do so if they wish to join in, and to cultivate our own food and fruit and veg. Yeah.
So is it maybe a sort of wider wish that this could be an example of how communities could be developed in the future?
Definitely. It's definitely our aim is to promote supportive, mutually supportive and living, sharing resources. It isn't for everybody, but we feel very strongly that this is the way forward. Times are hard. There's austerities in the budget, and locally, of course, we know that the council has to really draw in on the budget. So we feel that we can really step in and support people as well as all the material things I've been talking about.
Fantastic. And any councillor watching this film wavering, what would just be your sort of last why this is important? Soundbite, really.
Right. We aim in our community to really nurture responsibility in a fun and sustainable way. There's a saying, if it's not fun, it's not sustainable. And that's really important. We want to encourage and believe it will help establish a sense of belonging, which is so needed. There's a lot of people who feel very lonely, who struggle with mental health, and a sense of belonging can really help. So I've lived here for quite a few years and had really good relations with the community. I used to walk my dog around the field regularly and have chats. And when we were considering the project, we were very careful, for example, with the sight lines of the houses. We're very aware of how the residents have an unimpeded view and an open space. So we worked hard with the sight lines and that there was a good balance of buildings to land. Okay. Prompt me, Kat.
So, how it's all got very awkward in terms of how the relationships have changed, but how you hope in the future they will ultimately settle back to how they were.
Yep.
You're still the same Avril.
Yeah. So I understand the feelings of the residents. I can appreciate them, and at the moment they're not as easy as they could be. But I have every confidence that we will get back to the same place, in fact, an even better relationship, because there will be a lot that we can offer and a lot that they can enjoy and exchange, and we can just have fun together. Yeah.
And then I suppose the next one really is around this not being a commune and the diversity of people that will make this work in terms of different backgrounds, different ideas, different viewpoints, and being able to I suppose that is how you will adapt to challenges and evolve as a community, and that's how change happens in the real world.
Yeah.
But this is on a very
Yeah.
local level.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, sorry, and different, skills within there. So, some people might be great with maintenance, some people might be better with gardening, and it's about everyone having their part to play, without it feeling like a burden, because it's what they are naturally good at, and all the rest of it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'd like to emphasise this is very far from a commune. This is a co-housing. It's a neighbourhood like any other, with our own houses, as I've said before, and a community space in the common house. And all the inhabitants are people who will have chosen to live there. They want to live in this way. They want to live cooperatively and cohesively. And living in this way brings out people's diversities and their talents and their imagination for all the things that can be created as a group, rather than individuals working hard at things on their own in different places. So as far as social support, that's a tremendous asset, where people will be looking out for each other. Children will have many adults. Elders in the community will be watched out for and cared for. So the need for old people's homes or playgroups or care for your children won't be necessary, because there will be that already in the community.